If I wanted to piss in a room at a party, like not in the bathroom, and I'd find a little corner, do my piddle, and then leave.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And I'm Todd Blasino. Hey, gang.
Yo.
Yeah.
Pretty special episode.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty big. What do we got in the mix? First off, who's here?
It's the last ride, and we couldn't end it in such a spectacular fashion. We have hilarious comedian and connoisseur of the finer things in life,
Very
Sam
much
Jonny.
Hey,
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you. Yes, hello.
Hell yes, my friend.
Hello.
Thank you for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
Sam, you're the last guest before me and Jackie and embark and sail off east, and Ty starts his own brand of the show and kind of moving in his own direction. We couldn't be happier to have you.
Wait, are you serious? You guys are splitting the pod?
We're
done
splitting
in
the
its
pod.
current.
So we're
In
going
its
to
current
do
formation,
one Zoom a month. We'll have one band episode.
Okay.
Show Me Yours West will continue
Yeah.
out here with me. Where we'll be doing a little more like in-depth on music stuff, I suppose.
Okay.
And then the regular pod will consume, we'll presume out east as well. And we will. There's going to be a great deal of back and forth. Like we're going to be visiting.
Oh yeah.
Like
Sure.
we'll
Yeah,
always be around.
yeah.
I'm going to be in
100%.
Montreal at the end of October. We'll get some episodes in there for
That's
sure.
great.
And then if Johnny ever comes back here or whatever,
Yeah.
there's time to visit. So
Exactly.
yeah,
It's
we
nice.
took it as an opportunity to expand the brand.
A long distance throuple.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? Like a three-piece is tight, but we're not. Like, the band isn't by no means breaking up. Now it's that super group that just gets the opportunity to, you know what I mean, when tour schedules align, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
stars kind
Yeah.
of come together or whatever, then the
Yeah.
magic can happen again.
Yeah. Who are these super groups?
This is a super group that
No,
I'm
like the
referring to.
band, like this example.
Oh, that's
like,
a great
Oh.
question.
what's
Yeah.
the band?
That's
that,
a great question,
Yeah.
Sam. I'm glad you asked. Are you familiar with the Falcon?
Okay, I thought you said super group.
I'm going to go with the Traveling Wheelbarrow.
The
I was
that
gonna
makes
say
sense.
that's the go-to.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
We're
But-
talking Brendan Kelly from the Lawrence Arms, Dan Adriano from the fucking Alkaline Trio. We got fucking who's in the band now? It's a rotating
very
cast.
super.
of
Is it
heavy-
Cream kind of a super group?
Yeah, but they also toured together, right?
Yeah.
They were a
Sure,
group
sure.
at
Yeah.
the time. I mean, they're a super group. I don't know,
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Eric Clapton, whatever, right?
Prophets of Rage with Public Enemy. And
The one time Run DMC was with Aerosmith.
Yeah, hey, fucking outsold
super group.
everything.
It's
man.
so
pretty
it turns
super.
out that I'm a genre-specific idiot, and I'm probably going to take a lot of heat.
No.
For basically every reference that I bring up, but I'm fine with that. What constitutes supergroup in the only because what we're dealing with here
Ooh.
is mass appeal.
Yeah, I think we're talking 3 big time members here because
Yes.
2 is not really making it for me, right?
No,
For
no,
a
no,
super
no,
group.
It has to. Yeah.
Dave Haas from the last ones. Come on, guys, the Falcon rules.
Falcon. So let me guess, this is punk, right?
This is a punk rock band. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Based out of Chicago. 3 fantastic Chicago bands. I believe a Rise Against member was in there as well.
Wow.
You know what I mean? All right, that's for you guys.
Yeah, that's for
Someone's
them,
on the spectrum. I
Yeah.
like it. That's good.
Big
He
time.
is, he
Yeah.
is
Big
the
time.
spectrum.
Yeah. He kind of encompasses the whole spectrum. Yeah.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, baby. It's gonna get a little bit weird, but that's where I'm also coming to in my life, Sam. Is that I'm trying to move from a point of like absolute debauchery, human trash fire is basically what my life is. I have 0 healthy habits. I'm trying to move forward in a better way, try to stay alive a lot longer. And
Yeah.
Sam, what I see in you is you're a man that really values the finer things in life.
Yeah, I'm not looking to survive much
Yeah.
longer here. Yeah, I do. I enjoy things. Not that many things. I like doing things.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying before we
Yeah.
started recording. I go, it's not that you like think. I never see you with like materialistic kind of thing.
yeah.
You have experiences.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yes,
I'm
man.
going to eat at the Ritz-Carlton by myself.
Fuck yeah, I was gonna do it by myself.
By myself
Yeah.
and
That's
fucking
awesome.
book this 6 months in advance and I go have of an amazing meal. What an experience to have.
Yeah,
The
I was.
coolest thing.
Oh man, and so much is around music too, right?
Yeah.
I remember it was the first time when I was like 19. It started with my dad. He's like, he gave me a birthday present, which was a concert anywhere in North America, right? So that was the start, right? Okay.
That's
Like
pretty
just a
sick,
blank
yeah.
check? You
No,
could put-
well, I think the
Yeah.
condition was I got to be able to use some points on this.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
WestJet ain't going there.
No,
It ain't
no.
happening.
Yeah.
So I was just fun because I decided, okay, you know what? And this was embarrassing but wonderful. Okay, we're gonna guess what I went and said. This is 19. This is almost 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who did I choose?
Well, the Falcon wasn't around yet.
Yeah.
So
So we can safely rule that out.
We're talking mass appeal here, right?
we're talking mass appeal.
Yeah.
How old are you? at the time?
But just by the
19.
but by the way you said that though,
fuck me.
I know that you were I feel like you were a very particular 19-year-old.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say Metallica. I don't think.
My guess was
yeah.
going to be Kiss.
Oh, that'd be good. But
No, I'm going with
No.
like I can see you going to
go.
like a fucking Neil Diamond or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Young.
Yeah.
Neil Diamond. Okay, we got Neil Diamond. We got Kiss.
And
Johnny.
I'd say Neil Young. I'd
Neil-
put you.
oh,
no,
fuck
okay.
me. And you talk Neil Young with Harris?
Yeah,
We did.
we did.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Imagine your
fired.
solos just did like G for 3 minutes. You're like, wow, innovator.
That's so funny because I'm pretty sure him and I went on for like a 10-minute tangent. I'm like, and then he solos with one note. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's really great stuff. You know, he's Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Neil Young's fine. Harvest's a great record, but like. Okay, no, you're all wrong. I picked Aerosmith.
Oh,
Yeah.
close.
Hey,
close.
not
with
In the
Lenny
same band.
Kravitz opening.
Oh, fuck
And
yeah.
so
Oh,
we
yeah.
flew to Toronto, went and saw Lenny Kravitz open for Aerosmith.
How was that?
That's
American
pretty
Woman
sick.
rocking at the
It
height
was
of his
great.
power?
Well, it was well past the height of his power. This was in 2004.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a great time for Aerosmith, even
They,
though.
yeah,
like,
they're
it was
back,
like kind of
they're
this like
clean, they're good.
yeah, they're clean, they're good. It's
Joe
like
Perry's still in the
post
group.
Mrs. Doubtfire soundtrack. It's like they're kind of
Yeah,
they had that red greatest stuff that came up around that time. It was like really
it kicked.
yeah,
was
it's fucking.
awesome.
They're a pretty goddamn good band actually.
And a trip to Toronto, too, is one thing.
Well, that was
that's
fun.
an experience.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Toronto's
itself.
neat. We went to Healy's, Jeff Healy's bar.
That's
He was
sick.
dead by rest in peace. Canada's great blind musician.
And that guy played more than one note solos. let
Oh
me
yeah,
tell you.
fuck yeah. Yeah, he also
Yeah.
played this like
Overkill, yeah.
really shitty Squire guitar. It was
That's
like, It was a
awesome.
lame, cheapo Fender.
For some reason, there is this like folklore within the Squire guitars.
Yeah.
That you know that like one out of every 100,000
Right.
out of the factory has just been something lined up with the machinery that
Yeah.
day. Like
Really?
something happened where it's just like my friend had a Mexican made one that was just like it felt like an American made
Yeah.
Strat. It was
Really?
crazy.
Yeah, those early
Yeah.
'90s Squires were
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, so it was fun trip. So that was the first like experience check mark.
And after that, it was like, I mean, that's gotta set the. That's gonna be the first in a long line of these things,
I would
right?
come to Vancouver a lot
Yeah.
for concerts,
Mm-hmm.
but it would always, oh, fuck me. It'd be like the stupid ones that, like, why is this 20-year-old going to see Van Halen? Like,
That rules.
yeah, but like the real Van Halen, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so Sammy Hagar era.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big Sammy Hagar fan.
That's a great B.A. Johnson song. I don't know if you know B.A. Johnson, great Canadian fucking
Oh,
kind of indie dude,
jeez.
DIY guy that travels every. I mean, he just has a song about Van Halen, and basically it opens up with like, "Are you gonna see Van Halen? Ask yourself, is Sammy Hagar playing? Ask yourself if Sammy Hagar is playing. The answer is yes." Yes, we're gonna see Van
Goddamn
Halen.
right. I'll catch shit for this, but I think Sammy Hagar is way better than David Lee Roth and Van Halen.
I mean,
Music
you're not gonna
kicks.
catch shit on this couch.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Fuck yeah.
No.
We're here to support your opinion.
Yeah, David Lee Roth is just like the like fun, kooky guy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's not like a singer. Like he's just the novelty of the act. I think Hagar brought more like attention to how actually talented that band is. Because
Yeah.
it's like Eddie Van Halen's like, hey, it's not just a rubbish. Like he is a very good musician. Like
Yes.
he's playing was unbelievable. And then Alex Van Halen is an amazing drummer. Like he's a very
He
good
can
drummer.
keep it going, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but David Lee Roth's first two solo records are better than any Van Halen record. But
No shit. I've never really got into like any of that stuff. Was like I don't fucking stupid punk rock bullshit or whatever. There's always like the enemy of like any, like, hair metal.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I'm still caught in the
Past
throes
tense.
of that.
See, I can't do punk at all.
No,
I hate
Interesting.
punk. Like I love fucking hair metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
give
like,
me
so
it
what's
all.
the
Hair
difference?
metal.
Is like, I mean, I think you asked me one time, is it like musical skill or attitude or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
And all the music is definitely, you know what I mean, attitude. But
Yeah.
hair metal, I think, would fall into the same thing. Like where, because
Yeah.
like I might be speaking like out of school here, but would I be an asshole to say that I don't? Never, without really diving deep into any of the bands, like how much different is Van Halen from like Motley Crue?
I mean,
From an outsider's perspective,
I know.
that shit all looks the
I
same.
I know.
out of
How do you like
school
hot
here.
coffee in your face?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Motley Crue's a great party band. Van
Yep.
Halen's a great party band. I'd say Eddie Van Halen's a pretty good guitar player.
I think so. Yeah, I would agree.
And you know, Motley Crue's a good party band, right?
Yeah,
you know?
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
I would take Van Halen more seriously, like musically,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
than I would Motley Crue.
But you know,
Even with Tommy Lee, like,
Because
Yeah.
like I just feel.
and
like
I might
it's-
put Alex Van Halen over Tommy Lee as far as drumming is concerned.
It's all.
I mean,
the
yeah,
soundtrack
being
to-
like
yeah.
suspended upside down in a glass box while still being able
That's
to play
pretty
drums,
cool.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Pretty
Pretty
cool.
fucking cool.
That's
That
pretty
shit
sweet
fucking-
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. These guys are.
his cock's like just flopping all over
Releasing,
the place.
releasing the first the first sex tape I ever saw going
Oh,
on.
man,
Pretty fucking cool.
Pretty good.
Pretty cool.
I'm
Pretty
pretty,
fucking cool.
sure
You know what I
Alex
mean?
is not rocking that hammer, man.
Oh,
like that
yeah.
thing.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
I saw.
Wow.
I've never seen Alex Van Halen on a yacht. I'll
No.
say that.
Yeah.
No.
I saw Slipknot in my early days when because there's a few things that that drummers have done, and if you guys are going to talk about like a spinning glass box or whatever,
Yeah.
and say it's cool for Alex Van Halen to do, but Tommy Lee is a fucking asshole when he has like roller coaster track out into like the middle of the arena.
It's
So
fucking
like you
great.
know what I mean? It's fucking unreal. What Slipknot did was their stage just kind of elevates like 15 feet and tips completely forward, and the drum like it's just a giant pentagram that's just like spinning.
Wow.
And as like a 12-year-old kid, you're like, this is the fucking coolest thing that
Yeah.
I've ever seen. And Joe Jordison, rest in peace, is just fucking ripping the shit out of those drums. And he's just looking at the ground, looking at the sky, looking at the ground, looking at the sky, and just going for like the entire course of that song. Life-changing, moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? An experience where I'm like, oh, I'll just be in the stupid subgenre of fucking category, like the thing that I like.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I hold, so dear. And then now that I think that I'm getting older, especially with doing the show, like the opportunity to like, put myself onto something that I wouldn't normally do, like a Christopher Cross record or something like that.
I mean, I have a Christopher Cross tattoo.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, like we can get into it. Explain
No,
to me.
we don't need to talk about it.
Okay,
But we can talk about
Bullshit.
it. We'll talk about it for sure. But yeah, that's a big risk though. It's like sticking to what you like, right? That sucks.
Yeah.
It's so limiting. It's like,
Yeah.
we'll talk like, I don't listen to rap. It's like, why not?
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
and you can't get a good answer. I just don't like it. It's like, well.
Yeah.
Well, have you listened to every
What don't you like
single-
about it?
Yeah.
And it's fine. Well, I don't like black people. That's
And
really what it
it's-
comes down to most of the time,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And it's so stupid because there's like,
Yeah.
great white rap. No, I'm joking. No, but it's like always people who just like discount a whole genre.
Totally.
Like, what's the reason for it?
Yeah.
Like, actually explore it. And it's okay to not like something, but I don't know, man.
There's still a
But you know
respect
why?
level of it, though. We've talked about many times on the pod of like, there's a lot of bands that I don't listen to.
Yeah.
That I respect.
Sure.
Oh, totally.
Tool is the number one band for this for me. I'm like,
Really?
musically, they are so talented, and I've seen them live, and it
Yeah.
was an amazing show, and I respect everything of that. But I'm like, I don't put on Tool.
No.
I never put on Tool.
Yeah.
Never will I probably put
Oh,
on Tool.
for sure.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're fucking really good.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
and
that's
podcast is
fine to
good
have
for
it.
that too, because lots of times people will bring on an album and I'll listen to it and be like, "Oh wow, this is good," but I'm never gonna listen to it again.
No.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
But there's always like shit you can find in it, and then you, as you get older, you start noticing how integrated it is, everything together. Where all these old hip hop songs that I like, well, these were actually Parliament Funkadelic
Oh,
songs,
fuck yeah,
and then you
yeah.
fucking
Sure.
find that and get back to it.
Yeah.
And the punk scene has like the amount of homages to certain
of
old
course,
bands
yeah.
within songs is
Yeah.
endless with that whole genre. So it's it's like once you get older, you start realizing like, oh, the good people really do listen to fucking everything.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
Right? Like you can always find that thing that you know what I mean. That's like your comfort food or whatever, right? You can always go home and press play. But if you're not challenging yourself to branch out a little bit and give yourself a shot, then you're wasting fucking time. And when you can experience like so much good art. With that being said, like my nostalgia factor is like a little bit. like I don't know how I gauge some of this stuff because I want to go back and like during Halloween season when I was like, you know, at 11 or 12 years old or whatever, the Insane Clown Posse was one of the biggest fucking things in the world, right? So now as like 33 or whatever, I think it's fun to go back and like listen to a couple of these songs, and every year they get worse and worse. And I'm just like, fuck. Like I could see what it was about it, you know what I mean, that I liked. And I did go to an Insane Clown Posse show a few years ago here, wrecked on acid, and it was the greatest night, man. It was the fucking best experience ever. If you ever have the opportunity to go, I'm saying get into it.
I couldn't believe I saw them like a clip recently of them that they aren't sponsored by Fago. Like Fago wants nothing to do with it, which is
they're a family company.
Wild to me.
That's the only thing you think of when you see Fago.
Oh yeah. And they bought like when they go on tour, they buy like trucks of that. They like their money, but they don't like their brand, right? So that's like the whole thing.
Wow.
So I walked into Venue nightclub downtown.
But they were at
Venue? Yeah, dude. And so,
Jesus
you think that they? Yeah, I know. And so when we walk in there, I'm like, are they going to
after
do like
party at the Roxy? Let's
Are they going to do like the Fago thing? And you know, everybody's saying like, of course they're going to do it, but I'm like, how are they going to do that in here? Because it's an early show and they turn that club over into like a nightclub at like midnight, right?
Plastic shit.
This show's like, it's 8 o'clock. We're walking in there and the acid's like just kind of coming on, and I'm seeing all this like face painted dudes and shit. And I'm like, oh, this is about to get weird, right? So we walk in there and they have like a whole road crew that comes in and tarps off the entire venue.
Yeah.
So it's just like literally tarps hanging from the ceilings. And you're like immediately, oh, okay, this is gonna get weird. And then like the stage show is awesome, spooky carnival shit.
Yeah.
And from the first second, we're standing way at the back because I'm like, let's just like observe this, just kind of feel like a social experiment. And I'm like, there's no way that these bottles are gonna reach like the back.
Oh, dude, he does it with one hand.
Dude, yeah, they have the fucking technique. Shaggy Too Dope. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shaggy Too Dope. He like shakes the bottle and like smashes it on the ground, and it just comes sailing. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm high as fuck at this point. And not only is it coming this far, but it's coming right for me.
Wow.
And I just fucking right in the chest with root beer, and immediately right there, I was like, I look at my buddy and I'm like, I'm getting in there. You know what I mean? Like this is the pit of a lifetime.
Oh, amazing.
So
Pit of a lifetime.
totally. So I get in there, and these kids are
It's a
going
memoir.
nuts. They're losing their minds. And eventually, there's like a security guard that like kind of like sneaks past me. And I was like, what the hell? And I look over, like 2 people over. There's a girl butt naked
Amazing.
on the dance floor, like no
Fuck.
idea where
That's
Wow.
perfect.
and the guy's like, I don't want to touch you, but you can't be doing this here. And she's just fucking grooving. And like, I'm gonna tell you, I've been to a lot of shows, man. But that one was like, it's in the running for like top 10.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Huh. What's the wildest concert you've been to, Jackie?
I don't know that I've ever been to like a particularly wild concert.
Yeah.
The most ones I go to are pretty tame.
Yeah.
Like no, I can't think of anything. Like punk shows are like I guess, but they're not like wild, but just
No,
like in
they're
terms
nice
of
people.
like
Yeah, if you fall down, we'll pick you up.
Yeah, no, I can't think of because growing up, I would go to like fucking like big concerts with my mom. Like went like my first concert was Avril Lavigne.
Awesome.
And then we did like fucking Black Eyed Peas, like U2, Coldplay.
Yeah.
I've seen Chili Peppers a bunch of times. Like I've done a lot of like big concerts like that. But
so much fun.
Yeah.
But they're not wild.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Not wild. Yeah, I can't even think. I don't think I've ever gone to a concert that went off the rails in any way.
No one's
You got to come out with me.
Yeah,
No one's
there's no
tarping anything
tarps.
off.
Yeah.
There's no tarps. Yeah.
Wow.
There's some of
I mean,
those.
I can imagine Aerosmith getting pretty crazy.
It was
Sam. What do you got?
pretty sweet, you know. It was nothing like that at all. It was like such a big corporate concert.
Yeah.
And it just
yeah,
delivered. It's like,
exactly,
okay,
yeah.
they were done by 10:30.
What do you
Great.
feel like the rowdiest one you've been to is?
I'm trying to think. I was trying to
Yeah.
buy time here.
Yeah,
'cause
I have one now.
I
I have one now.
Okay.
I
Alright.
saw at like the height of his popularity when I lived in Montreal. I saw Mac DeMarco.
Ooh.
And pissed all over the stage, and then we're like encouraging people to come up on the stage and for them to piss on the stage. And at one point he like went and like crowd surfed to like the back of the room and went to like the bar and got a drink and then crowd surfed back on stage. That's probably the only I would say that's the wildest concert I've been to. It's a Mac DeMarco show.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody like pissing on there. There's like the classic. I mean,
that's
obviously like
pretty
the
fucking-
Gigi Allen or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
You know, that is fucking insane, especially that kind of music. Like don't burn the room is always, you know.
Yeah, he was like notorious for his concerts would get weird like that.
Is he dead?
No. But he's not as.
Oh, that's Mac
big,
Miller.
Yeah, that's Mac Miller. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but I
Good
also
kid.
know because Mac DeMarco was born in Duncan, and so I know people who like he would show up. I know someone who was at a party where he showed up at the party and just came and drank all the beer and stood up on the coffee table and pissed everywhere. So this is a trend.
Man is a Canadian treasure.
That's confidence.
That is insane.
I can't imagine that. Like, you know, I'm assuming this is like a high school party or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what, like, high school student is comfortable whipping his dick out at a party?
I still takes me a minute. After
I don't even do it. I sit.
Well, unless you're
right?
sleeping
Like,
next to Jackie.
What?
Yeah. I was gonna say
My
he's
bad.
pretty.
Yeah, it really takes a
comfortable.
lot for you.
Yeah.
Get into it.
That's insane.
Yeah, right. That's
Like-
a wild thing to do.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I wonder if I had stage fright at that moment, like when I was just like in my head, like still sleeping or whatever, but just like, okay, a couple deep breaths, like you could start. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you got that
Sometimes you gotta talk
delay.
yourself up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a confidence to on a little coffee table like that too.
Yeah, right.
Stand it up.
right.
Just, I'm going to piss.
On this carpet, like that's-
yeah, right.
And to make a show of it, like, I don't know, I'm the kind of guy go in the corner and do it.
Totally.
Yeah,
If I wanted to piss in a room at a party, like not in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and I'd find a little corner, do my piddle, and then leave.
Someone
right?
Do my piddle.
Why not, right?
You're a goddamn gentleman.
Well, it's all sneakier, and who pissed in the corner? What the hell?
little devious.
so
Maybe
you
find
want
a
to
potted-
add
fun,
mystery
right?
Maybe a
to it.
potted
Then you're
plant.
like the corner pisser.
No, I want to
That's
cause.
used for jerking off.
I want to cause damage. You go in
Yeah.
a carpeted room.
100%.
I do love like the classic, what is it, 60s wood floor, 50s wood
Yep,
floor
yep.
in here, right?
Yeah, it really soaks in that beach.
Really
Oh,
yeah.
strong.
And the
Definitely.
cracks.
Wow. Yeah.
Get that nice warp a couple months
Warp,
later, you know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some
That piss
you
warp.
can't tell from afar, but the drywall is starting a little
Yeah.
scuffing.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'd want to do.
Yeah,
but
that's a good move.
Baseboards
That's a
are
good
starting to
move.
warp
Yeah.
a little bit. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever like taken a shit in a litter box or anything like crazy, like at a house
Oof.
party?
Wow.
I got caught trying to take a shit in a friend's litter box, and it was like not cool.
You
Oh.
know,
Yeah,
shit.
that's tough.
Because it's
Oh
at that
my
moment where you're like, no, because if you would have
God.
came in here 5 minutes later, this would be the funniest thing ever. Like you would have just
Yeah.
found like a human-sized shit in a litter box. How awesome is that?
I got really
But now
drunk.
I'm just like a dude that's trying to shit in
Yeah.
your guy's basement, which is not very cool.
That's not cool at all.
Yeah, that's my
not
bad.
cool.
Sorry, Justin. He's a good guy.
Yeah, sorry, Justin. I got really drunk at a Doug Stanhope show once. This is a
That'll
long time
happen.
ago.
Yeah.
And then I woke up the next day and I like pissed my bed. I'm like, I'm by myself. I don't remember getting home after, and I wasn't on drugs or anything. I just drank a lot of beer, and then I pissed my bed.
There's nothing.
I'm sorry. I got nothing.
Hey,
Like,
listen,
I was
listen.
gonna
It
say,
happens.
'cause,
It happens to the best of
this
us.
has happened very recently.
That's I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have these wild experiences at it, but I have done it just got too drunk at the time. Not the piss bed. Like
Yeah.
I went and saw Rush once, which was
time.
great, except for the fucking Thai dinner and getting shit faced before the concert, and like
Oh,
combo.
no.
it was not a
Oh,
good.
no.
I'm
combo.
gonna
I
go
was
see
gonna
Geddy
say-
Lee and
Yeah,
have a little
I-
pad thai.
Like I don't remember much of it at all, except for like this fucking 40-minute Neil Peart.
I was gonna
solo.
say Neil Peart and noodles from Phuket.
Yeah. And then
good
I
time.
like fucking barfed up my shoes. You know, see, like this is here for Rush,
no.
and like I don't know, 21, going to go see Rush or something in Vancouver. And I'm like,
That's good
"Oh,
stuff.
what am I
Awesome.
doing? I'm an idiot. And
Just playing Tom Sawyer. And you're just
yeah, just Ralphing it up. I didn't get kicked out though, because it was only a little bit.
yeah,
Oh,
because
dude,
And I
are you
made it
kidding
to the
me?
bathroom.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding
yeah.
me? Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I did it, and what a time to be alive for Rush.
Yeah.
Like,
Rush is pretty
I'm a
sick,
fucking
yeah.
idiot. Like, at least pick like a contemporary band, where it's kind of cool. I'm surrounded by people my own age. No, I have this fucking my family accountant sitting beside me or something. I'm barfing. Oh, it was so good.
I can't. I'll never be able to hear a Rush lick ever
No.
again without thinking about it.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I can't listen to Rush anymore anyway.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking just, oh, God.
I think that's so great in Trailer Park Boys. Like I think Ricky doesn't like them. He's like, I don't know, he's thinking about fucking trees talking.
Yeah.
And stuff. And he's just like, he hates it so much.
He likes, or what's the fucking band? Like,
Yeah,
what
Anthrax.
music
Does he like
band?
likes
Anthrax?
Anthrax.
Or fucking-
Yeah.
whatever.
Or
Yeah.
Anvil.
Or Sebastian
Oh
Bach.
yeah, that's
yeah,
true, too.
Sebastian Bach. Yeah.
Oh man, what a singer!
Rock and roll.
I mean, he's fallen apart now. Like, it's awful to see him get up there and still do it. But there's
Yeah.
like footage of Sebastian Bach doing like one of those like massive European festivals, and he sounds so fucking good.
Sounds so
man.
good, like the Monsters of Rock, fucking
yeah.
Oh,
massive
yeah.
shows where you have he's one day and then White Snake's closing out the next day, and oh man, I wish we had that now.
You'd go
Yes.
you'd go on one of those.
I
cruises.
want to see
Yeah.
White Snake
Oh.
so fucking bad, but I'm a little bit afraid of seeing like 75-year-old David Coverdale. Like,
It can be.
75-year-old David Coverdale is a much different David Coverdale.
Yeah,
like, just like the
yeah,
name
yeah.
itself just sounds like, oh, you got old.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
David
super old. He's got like a
Coverdale.
really round, leathery face now. Where like, even in the '80s, like he was a little bit older, and he was like 40 in the hair metal time, right?
Yeah.
But he had at least like a proper shaped face.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now he looks like an old woman.
Where it
And
bloats
Yeah.
and goes to leather, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. The age catch up to you.
he's got a great voice.
But
Are you-
I think that's the thing because
He's got a
like,
great voice.
Are
every
you like
band
a-
that's doing the nostalgia tour, like you have opportunity. Like I mean, at least with
True.
me or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
mean, some of my bands that I like, I fucking level of professionalism in this
Yeah,
fucking
Jesus
place.
So
God
John's
damn.
got to take his heart
Come on.
medication.
I
Yeah.
love the
Yeah.
nostalgia. That's kind of what I'm taking advantage of now. Like in 2 weeks, I'm going to Minneapolis to see Christopher Cross,
Hell
right?
yeah.
Because
Hey, there we
like
go.
this is his last tour. He was like paralyzed, partially temporary paralysis
Damn.
after getting COVID. I'm like, you're not hitting the road
Holy
again
shit.
after
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be good. I gotta hit these guys.
Yeah,
Like,
you
yeah,
gotta
it
see
is
him
a
Gotta
live
see him.
for sure.
Definitely.
I saw there was years ago there was one summer where my dad and I we went and saw Bob Dylan.
Yes.
And then a month later we saw Tom Petty.
Mm.
And in my head I was like, this has got to be Bob Dylan's like last ride.
Yeah.
And then Tom Petty, he put on a great show,
Sure.
played over 2 hours, but then he died like 2 months later. And I was
Rest in
like, I did
peace.
not see that one coming. Of all like the people I saw this summer, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
for sure
Mm.
Bob Dylan was kicking the bucket, but he's back out on the road again. He's playing in Montreal next month.
You gonna
Yeah,
go see
I
that?
remember like ages
don't
ago
know,
when he
I
played
might,
here. I was like,
depending-
that's what I went to go. I'm like, this is probably the
Yeah.
last time I'll get to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
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 How was it?
It was pretty good. Everyone was very upset
Oh.
because he played the piano. And they're like, you didn't play the guitar. I'm like, really? He's a piano player. That's like how he started. Like,
Yeah.
he's a fucking
Yeah,
piano
yeah.
player. Like, I don't know what you're mad about. And they're like, oh, dude, it's like, it's just dumb Vancouver audience. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you it didn't even sound like the record. I'm like, yeah, it never will. It's a
Yeah.
Bob
Yeah.
Dylan
It's not
concert.
the
Yeah.
same
He,
thing.
that's his whole thing, actually, is that
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's like, it's this whole,
Yeah.
his whole shtick is like different every fucking time you see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about like musicians, especially just not catering to the fans?
For me, I don't really fuck with like I know that like I understand that Bad Religion's not going to change the game musically or whatever
Yeah.
with the next record that they put out, but they like I do know where to go when I want that thing. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that, they've had like, you know what I mean, at 35 almost 40 years now touring legions of fans, and we all kind of, you know, we go in there like knowing what to expect or whatever, but
Yeah.
like they're kind of like stuck in the confines of the genre that they're in.
So
right?
if they came out and started doing reggae versions,
It would
would there be a riot?
I don't know if there would be like a riot. We'd all be like, we'd show up to the show and like and support it, but everybody would leave feeling
A lot of skanking.
shortchanged.
Yeah.
A lot of,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah,
of-
because
I guess
but
maybe
there- because
reggae
there-
wasn't the right
There,
yeah,
yeah, there is a
example
lot
there.
of that in the
Yeah,
genre
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Actually,
know.
that'd probably go over pretty swimmingly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
absolutely.
Bring
like,
some
what
horns
if they
on
did
stage?
acoustic?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw the interrupters open
Yeah.
for them. Like they were very, very much
Wow.
inspired just before them at Punk Rock Bowling. So yeah, that would be okay. But no, if they came in doing like post kind of like post punk, like you know, weird spacey shit, or like maybe even like too hard into the metal side. There's a lot of punk bands that can go like too far over the edge to
Yeah.
metal, and like Propaganda is like one of Canada's best bands. And I was talking to a guy last night who is a musician, and like I respect his opinion, you know, very much. But when it goes from like early skate punk when they're like 19 years old, and then they're just, you watch them get better at their instruments as they go, and then now they're, you know, I think catering to probably 50% of their original audience,
Yeah.
and then picking up newer stuff. So
Like, I don't want to see a musician improve.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I don't want to see it.
totally.
Like, I want that first record to be like, you deserve this, and you're good.
Yeah.
And then to know the second record is just, you're going to maybe evolve creatively,
Sure.
but I don't want to know that someone's getting to be a better guitar player.
Right?
It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Totally, dude.
Because I feel cheated, right?
Yeah.
Then I go back, I want to listen to that first record, which is always usually the best, their first one. And it's like, oh, imagine you could play the guitar like you did now on this first fucking record. You cheated me.
Exactly.
Here.
You wouldn't be
Yeah.
it wouldn't
I don't
be
like
the
it.
same,
Okay,
the same
yeah.
energy. Greg Ginn from fucking Black Flag, notoriously for that. There's like old footage of Black Flag in their later days with like hardcore kids like crying next to the stage because they're trying to like take you for a longer walk on a 3-minute song or something like that. We're like, no, we're here
Just-
to go nuts for 90 seconds
Yeah.
and move on, you know?
Give it to me.
Fucking right.
Oh,
Give them the goods.
give them
Yeah.
the goods.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about encores?
Oh, this is an interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it really an encore if everyone knows there's going to be an
Well,
encore?
that's the
Good
thing.
call,
I
yeah,
think I
that's-
hate the whole fucking charade where you clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore. I just
Yeah.
stay seated
Yeah.
because I don't go to any standing room concerts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Although I'll be honest, the last one I went, I was with Harris, and we went to the Commodore and we saw Sloan, and it was great. A great fucking concert.
Fuck yeah, you did.
Like a killer show,
Fuck
right?
yeah, you did.
It rocked. Going
That's
backstage,
awesome.
that was a lot of fun. After the concert, we're hanging out back there because we like knew a guy who was friends with the tour manager, and we're hanging out.
sick.
And it's like they're back there. There's a ton of chicks, and then
Yeah.
me and Harris are just like standing in the corner. It's like, oh, what do we do? We're just like drinking their beer, and then they're like, oh, you guys are comedians, and like, yeah. It's like, whoa, we always want to be comedians. We're just like, you're rock stars. Like,
Yeah.
we're fucking losers here. And
Yeah.
then we like kind of snuck out. We had to go
Yeah.
after, and like
Yeah.
I checked my snooker queue at the front, and they were closing the coat check, and I had to go get it.
Such an interesting man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
You
walking
know how
around
you
with-
bring your snooker cue
to a
Yeah.
Sloan
Of
course.
show?
Yeah.
Commodore?
To a Sloan
Yeah.
concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing pool earlier, and then oh,
That's what it
man.
does.
I didn't want.
That's always a great
that.
invitation. When
Yeah.
Sam's like, "You want to go play pool?" and you're like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Want me to go beat the piss out of you?" in
I love pool, man.
I'm
It's
sure
a
you
great
do.
game.
It
I
is
want
a great game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I had a Facebook member the other day when you ran a little tournament. That was super
Yeah.
fun.
We've done 2. I want to do it again.
Yeah, that'd be
I
super
think
fun.
I'll see if Dusty Cersei wants to run
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun playing a pool tournament.
How? When did you start playing? And what level are you at?
I'm horrible. I'm
Oh,
so
is that
bad.
right? Okay.
Yeah, like I get my ass kicked all the time at pool, and I
Yeah.
play against people who take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like I will sub for like league teams, and I just get my ass creamed.
Oh,
but like they get a handicap because I'm on the team because I'm not very good.
Right.
But then I'll go to a bar and just play against
And
drunk
just
Australia and just like
clean up.
yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy.
clean house.
It's like when you're the king of the open mics and then you
Yeah.
go do a show and you're like, oh,
You get the
Oh,
shit
yeah.
kicked
Oh,
out of
yeah,
you.
you do your
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
guest spot at a comedy club and it's like I suck.
Yeah.
But then you go back to the open mic and you're like, wow, I'm gonna talk about fucking rape and I'm gonna kill.
Yeah. They
And it's
worship
like,
me.
Yeah, they
here,
worship
yeah.
me.
Totally.
Yeah, it's like that shit. But I
Yeah.
love pool. But I play mostly snooker. Which no one else.
You know, the
does.
harder one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like an obscure sport. I don't know. It's like the
Well,
most
that's the thing.
pretentious
You don't get
thing
into
ever.
that just
Yeah.
like playing like bar. Like I mean, I enjoy playing pool because I'm a fucking drunk and I'm at
Yeah.
a bar usually or
Yeah.
whatever. But I've never really been around a place where like snooker is even an option.
No, I
play.
have to
Oh.
go to the Army and Navy and Air Force Veterans Club.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to bring your own cue.
I
evidently.
got-
Yeah.
I have a
Take
locker.
my hat off every time I go in there. It's
You
pain in
have
the
to,
ass.
or else you have to buy a round for the house. You don't have to. They
Oh,
can't
sorry.
enforce. It's not enforceable. It's not in the bylaws.
This is a man who's gone to court for
I was
it.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
fuck
This is a
yeah.
man who's fought this.
So I have to go to like a knockoff Legion to play snooker, right? And my
Knockoff.
buddy used to be the president of it. He's not like 80,
Yeah.
but he joined it because they had a snooker table, and he's like, I just want a place to play.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's so.
Yeah.
Tanner and I joined.
well, that you
the
joined
one
the
up-
like the
Anac
fucking
or whatever. What is it? Like
is the
Army
Anavets
and-
Club
yeah.
up there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just to
we
play
joined there
pool.
last like 2 winters ago, just to be
Yeah.
like, oh, it's like a sweet ass games room that we don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when I moved to town, there's one on Main Street that I just became a member of because I just like a quiet bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And that was like, we definitely play.
Maine and what? Is that like near Maine, like 23rd?
Main and 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something
Now
like
it's
that.
Heroes Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
You have to take your hat off to go to the bar, and then they sell.
Most legions are like that, though. You gotta take your hat
Yeah,
off.
but this isn't
Yeah.
a Legion anymore.
They've had that.
They,
Oh.
the Army and Navy closed, and now it's a bar.
And then they're still enforcing the.
They're
That's
still
some rules.
enforcing
That's
it,
some bullshit.
and it's
Yeah.
like Heroes Welcome is the name of it, and you know, it's
I'm gonna be honest,
fine.
There's a lot of people there. Not the biggest hero.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
This guy,
war criminals here.
that guy
Yeah.
over there hasn't talked to his kids in 20 years. It's like,
exactly.
Here's a fucking
Yeah.
hero.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's like all young people there. Like,
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
fucking Legion anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
and you know they sell $14 sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
They're
I
good.
can't stand that shit, but like it did. The Legion Hall forced me to kind of step out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
like comedically a little bit. We were doing Turbo Fest and
Yeah. And,
what was that, Sunshine Coast?
yeah. Gibsons
Yeah.
and seashells.
So a lot of fun. You know what I mean? They have a bunch of bands playing and stuff, so we got to do comedy before that. The shows turned
Yeah.
out to be great. But when I walked into the Legion in Gibsons, they were really sticklers for the hat thing. And now I got to go do fucking like 20 minutes with no hat on my head. I've never been
Yeah,
on
no
stage
hat
without a
like
hat.
that. I mean, that's rule 101,
man.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really kind of threw me for a loop. The kid handled it. You know what I mean? I thrive under pressure.
Like, take your
but
hat
Yeah.
off. Let's see this.
That's not bad. But it's like that, you know.
it's
I-
pretty
I-
good.
I
He's got a,
I
got
coulda
a
put some
style.
shit
Yeah.
It's not bad. You go, I mean, put your hat back on, kid.
I'm not blessed with hair that does shit that I can do anything with.
What,
It
are
just
you
all falls
serious?
straight
You got
down.
Hey,
fucking
let me tell you,
fine hair.
Yes.
You could have that slick back Patrick Bateman hair, or you could have
I
like
could
a
always look like a-
JTT, or
Well, the JTT,
You know.
There we go.
That's,
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
that was more. I could show you
Okay,
some bowl
don't
cut,
give 'em any
some
ideas.
elementary
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
photos and
Don't
stuff
give
like
it-
that.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
see
like,
it.
shut the
You better
fuck
put
up.
that up in the
You know,
pod.
and
I
I
can
will, I
tell
will
you.
slick it back a little bit by too, but I always like. Do you remember the bad guy in Mighty Ducks 2?
No.
Okay, well he's like the coach for Team Iceland, right? And his hair was
Yeah.
just slicked back like way too hard. So I
Dude, that
find,
is you, dude.
That-
That's
yeah,
so
dude.
funny.
right? Like it doesn't pompadour up.
Well,
like, all
let's see.
cool
Like,
and
just
shit.
do it right. Like, yeah.
All right. Here, you know what I mean? So it kind of goes back, and then I try to part it.
Oh,
You know what I
man.
mean?
You
On
look like
that
someone's
side.
about
You
to
don't
fucking
have
give
a
you the
side
old.
part though. Like you don't.
I do.
You
from-
do. Oh, on
I
that
create
side.
It, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not-
okay.
Now that I'm not looking into a mirror right now, guys. Sorry, it's not my best
Yeah, you
work.
need some pomade and a comb.
I do.
Yeah,
Damn
to
it, I'm a
get
dapper
this
Dan
look
man.
popping.
Well, I'm gonna move to a new city, and I think like maybe I'll break out of the.
You're gonna have a mustache and
something
just
like
stop
that.
wearing a hat.
Maybe. You
Yeah.
never know. You know, try
Yeah.
to be a little bit. You
You
try to
almost
grow up a
did the
little
blue thing, like when we got back from.
bit. Yeah, I was having a
Col-
midlife crisis.
Okay, that's what that was. All right.
What's the blue thing?
He was just gonna dye his hair blue. He was like,
You
I'm gonna
fucking
go buy
serious?
dyes.
I was
That
good.
blue hair dye is still in our bathroom.
Yeah, oh,
Good.
yeah.
Get rid of it.
I
Don't
had
take
it.
it with you. That
Yeah.
shit sucks,
Yeah,
man.
dude, I know.
Are you having a fucking gender crisis?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think I'm pretty comfortable knowing that like I have a
having a
penis
bad
and I like things in my
morning.
butt. But,
yeah, fair enough. Then you don't need to dye your hair, man.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Sometimes I make split decisions, and
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get over that. You know what I mean? I think that's the whole thing in the next phase of my life is like how do we deal with problems in a way that's not like I'm 33, let's go buy blue hair dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was
And then
the
get
alarming
afraid to put
part.
it in.
The alarming part is that it wasn't even like, oh, like I'm in such a good mood, I'm gonna try some blue hair dye.
Yeah,
It's that he
yeah.
kind of woke up in a shitty mood,
And then he's
and
just
then went
like-
and took a drive, and then came back with blue hair.
I'm gonna go dye my hair. Oh, Johnny.
You know, I'm an emotional boy, Sam. I'm an
Shit,
emotional
if you're gonna
boy.
dye it, have at least like the Italian flag or something.
Well, that's
Wait,
another
do you
problem.
have a like a maple leaf tattoo?
I do not.
Oh, I was so pumped here for that. It's like I imagine it on your calf, a maple leaf tattoo with like the Italian tree
Oh,
No,
going
but
yeah.
my uncle has that
Yeah.
with 2 hockey sticks.
Yeah,
across
fuck
the
yeah.
front as well, yeah.
What a coat of arms.
Yeah, that's the DeVito coat of arms of North America.
That's my uncle Danny right there. Danny DeVito. Shout out.
Wait, your uncle's name is Danny DeVito?
yeah. He's a good
Wow.
guy.
Daniele?
No, there's just I'm straight. Daniel, my
Yeah.
nono's name is Michele, but they kind of after
Yeah.
there was some issues like around like World War II and like
Really? What were
Wow.
Yeah, wait, I don't know if you know this, but
There were some.
It's
Just
just
bypass that. There were some issues.
Yeah. Wow.
all right, okay, let's get into it. So there's
I want to
Yeah.
unpack this, dude.
during World War II there was Japanese internment camps where a lot of Japanese people were sent, rightfully so, I believe.
Wow.
Sorry. During that time,
Yeah.
there was also a lot of Italians sent to these camps as well.
What the camps to makes fucking sausages or something?
Yeah. So Sam, do you understand like one of the main one of the main parts or whatever involved in cracking an atom is that they need heavy water, and heavy water was made in Cominco and Trail, where like a bunch of Italians. That's like my my hometown, and that's
Your people.
the facility where they made these things for the 2 atom bombs was in a small town in Western Canada here. So. When that was
This
happening,
was not in Oppenheimer. It was,
Yeah.
it was left on the cutting room floor.
All roads lead back to
they
Trail.
cut that out.
All
This
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
scene where he meets Einstein in Trail.
Yeah.
Cut out
So
the
the
4th hour of
Cominco Heavy
Oppenheimer.
Water Facility in
Yes.
Trail, BC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So like,
was
if you
the
look at, like,
Italian internment camp.
No, this was in New Denver, just outside, like
Okay.
in between like Casco and Nelson. So there was one out there, and as the story goes, there was somebody snitching, saying that my great grandfather might be selling secrets to Nazis or something like that.
Wow,
I don't really know how that happened,
Yeah.
but a few people got scooped up, and my great grandfather being one of them. And then the rest of the community kind of just being afraid they don't
Yeah.
want it to happen to them too, so everybody kind of turns their back
Of course.
and whatever. So because of that, a lot of the Italian, pride and stuff like that
Yeah.
kind of took the back seat. So we're not like speaking the language at home and doing a lot of that stuff just out of fear that it'll never happen again.
Of course.
So because of that, and then like Michele is spelled like Michelle, so my no one was just a tough son of a bitch. He just had to fight like boy named Sue kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he wanted that for for the rest of us. And then just everybody just keeps like banging blonde women, and now Johnny DeVito's over here with
Now
the
you
red
look like
beard
a
and
weird
fucking
Canelo Alvarez.
yeah, exactly. Right. The only guy in like any like mafia movies or whatever that I could like kind of look like or whatever is Ralphie from the
Ralph
Sopranos, and he's a
Cifaretto,
fucking
man.
asshole.
Fucking-
You know?
Yeah,
You have his
that's-
hair too.
I do. Yeah.
Well,
I got
his
that.
hair, but yeah. Oh, what a great show.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We
right?
recently did a rewatch of it.
She's
yeah.
a fucking whore.
Yeah, oh man, Tracy, what a piece of shit, eh?
Yeah.
Like, it's so dumb. I don't know, man. So what I gotta understand this. So you're like there were Japanese and
Not Japanese.
I know there were
betrayal.
Japanese
Yeah.
internment camps, but there were Italian like
Yes, they were
camps as
taking
well.
them, yeah, anybody that could be like a threat to the
Uh-huh.
good guys or whatever, right? So that entire like axis of evil. I didn't hear about any Germans going over there, but I mean, a guy that works at a sawmill or whatever in Castlegar is probably not like a a threat as opposed to like a guy who was like working in like one of the like silver refineries in the next facility or the next like building over from
Yeah.
where they're doing all this
So
shit.
like. Were the internment camps like side by side? Were these just Japanese
I don't think they were
and
segregated.
Italian
I think
people?
I
just
think
hanging out?
Room in there,
everybody gets in
yeah.
there, yeah, and then I don't know, they just like served them rice and shit
Everybody
like that.
gets
so
in there.
my family
yeah.
doesn't even fuck with risotto.
That's
Cool.
pretty,
Yeah.
okay. This is weird, right? Like, so if your great grandfather was working on atom bomb materials and then living with Japanese people, and then the bombs drop, like, what did they do to your granddad? Your great-grandfather.
That's the part of the history of my family that nobody like really talks about or
Yeah.
cares to go into. You know what I mean? So I'm fascinated by that.
PTSD.
But then
get it.
after
Yeah,
that,
there's
so
a lot of
a
that,
few
dude.
years after the war,
grandma
my
hates
great
talking about that
grandfather
Yeah.
suffers like massive burns in the silver refinery, and he ended up dying like a couple days later due to complications from that injury. But it's a pretty dark time for the DeVitos, and like it sounds like a cover up to me. You know what I mean? So I know
Yeah.
that there's a lot more. Going on there. Conspiratorial mind might want to believe that there's maybe more to this.
No wonder you like punk, man. You
I
hate
know.
the system. It's like
Dude,
Yeah.
Grandpappy
conspiracies,
yeah.
it all started
DeVito
from
was
there, and then when I'm
wrong.
fucking 11, like, you know what I mean? 9/11 happens, and everything is just like
Rest in peace.
You're saying it was your fault.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, 100%.
How old were you at 9/11?
I was 11 years old.
So you're born 1990.
Yes,
Hey?
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was a wild
This-
day. I
this
remember,
guy with the
like,
quick math.
Yeah, everything about it. And then like
Sharp brain.
Jon Stewart on TV
Yeah.
and stuff like that, just openly mocking the government. George Bush being such an easy guy to like, like point the finger at and be like, that's clearly the bad guy. Mission accomplished speech, and then the war
Yeah.
goes on for 10
Yeah.
years. All that stuff I remember like so vividly. At the same time that I discovered music where they were like, something's wrong here and all
Yeah.
that shit. So it was just a perfect storm, and I'm still caught up in
Your
it.
inner 11-year-old persists.
Yes.
Yes,
I like it. That's
very
good.
much so.
I apologize, babe.
Yeah. That's yeah.
You know what I mean? Very, like strong opinions about some things, but not really like, enough like gumption to like get up and vote.
What's your strongest musical opinion?
My strongest musical opinion, I don't know. It probably changed like over the years, but I would probably say, cut the shit and shorten it down. I
like
really-
that's the greatest advice for everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
right?
Cut the
Like
fat.
there's so much, just like noodling and shit that's just like so excessive and like kind of it makes it just like, fucking look at this guy for like a 40-minute drum solo or whatever. I just find it to be
I
self-indulgent.
just love putting on a fucking
and-
dead record for this guy.
Yeah,
No
this is
fix
Jerry.
zone.
Just go
My
off.
favorite albums are like they come around like the 22 to 28 minute mark, and they're perfect. But just fast paced. In your face, say what you got to say and get the fuck out of there. Like those, when it's done well, and everything too, even comedy specials. Like when I watch like a great like half hour, 45 or whatever, it's way better than somebody going over the hour.
Yeah, 90 minutes of Dave Chappelle talking about trans people.
Exactly.
It's a
For the
lot,
5th special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right, man. It was funny the first 2, but Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This is just your brand now.
Yeah. Right. So I might be hard nosed, but I'm curious. What would your most controversial?
That's well, it's not controversial. I maintain that Keith Richards is the world's greatest shitty guitar player.
Okay.
And I'm like,
yeah.
he's fantastic, but is a horrible guitar player. And I think like the biggest guitar licks are usually by people who don't know how to play that much. That well.
Yeah.
Victor Wooten has a really good line about that.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want to learn bass from bass players.
Yeah.
He's like, give a golfer a bass and then see what they do with it. And it's like, it's total Victor Wooten fucking thing to say. And it's like, I'm on a different level than everyone.
Yeah.
And he is. But, I could kind of see where he's going with that. Keith Richards is not one of the great, but he's got those honky tonk licks down.
Yeah.
Like, they're so tasty.
But he also he can play with 2 strings and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And he probably only plays with 2 fingers kind of thing.
And Brian Jones probably taught him how to do it.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah.
Either way, but I think like there's beauty and simplicity to like everything or whatever. Like I mean, fucking.
Yeah, but I'd rather listen to someone who knows what they're doing be simple than someone who doesn't.
For sure. Yeah, know the rules and then break them.
Then like fucking Paul McCartney can play bass, but he's not playing anything complicated.
Totally.
Yeah, but it's tasty as fuck.
So good.
It's very tasty.
That was a fun concert.
All I knew was doing one
man.
more, and I would never really talk about it. I'm like, that's one that I'm like, I will definitely go to next time.
If
Next
he
time
comes
I'm
back,
available
it's
for
worth
that.
every penny.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
sure.
didn't pay for it. A buddy of mine took me to it, which was a lot of fun.
It's crazy how. Yeah, he's been able to do it, and some of the songs are like still in their original keys, which is wild.
Yeah.
It's like, 'cause, like, as people get older, it's like that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's why it always sounds a little bit like, it's not exactly how I remember it or whatever. It's like in a much lower register or something like that. Like it does, like you do associate with that if you've heard a fucking Beatles song 1 billion times in your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he still does. It's crazy. He's still got that range.
That's insane. I'm curious to see how the guys that I really look up to, how they're gonna like, because they're all kind of at that like 60 kind of year old thing, and a lot of them are like taking care of themselves and not like the party thing is kind of like past or whatever. But I'm curious to see like, cause will like lightning fast kind of like guitar playing, or because I can't imagine seeing some of this shit at like a slower tempo.
Right.
You know what I mean, right? So like you really have to, be able to deliver the package, like,
especially when you go to a live show.
No,
It's like naturally people do just play faster live.
Yeah.
Like it's just
especially with like the nerves or whatever. Yeah. And isn't it a thing because there's a delay when they hear like because I have no idea, I'm not a musician at all, but there's like a delay, right, when you're playing live, and so like they'll speed up when they play.
Not necessarily, because you have monitors that are like
That's
pointed
live
at
response,
you.
yeah.
So like, so it's not that much. And then now with all the earpieces and stuff, it's not really like that crazy of a delay. But I don't know. I've never played like a fucking like I don't know. The Media Club was had a lot of reverb in it. Like I don't fucking know. Like what are you talking
I
about?
was on stage at the Wise while they were opening up, and that was the craziest thing that I've fucking ever experienced. Is like my own, 'cause
Were you
they're-
doing stand-up?
Sound guys,
Yeah.
Wow.
for-
The sound guy
great
should
for-
turn off the monitors.
Yeah,
when
but they
stand
just
up.
like they don't fucking
And
they
they
find it so weird. They're like, "What do you mean you don't want to hear yourself?"
Well,
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
Like I need to hear laughs and not
Yeah.
me.
That was the biggest thing,
Yeah.
right? It scared the shit out of me, but I just know, like, and the sound guy was super cool. I showed up early, and I'm friends with all the bands and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, how is this gonna go? And they're like, fucking just like going. So there's a lot of weird.
How'd
shit.
it go?
Nobody introduces me like
Yeah.
before you come up, so I'm just like standing there and I'm talking to the band, kind of being like, okay, so when I get to like this joke, you guys kind of walk on and we'll try to just do it like seamless, like bang it out. So which like happened and it went well, but as soon as like I had to like starting it out was weird. I have my own like wireless mic, and I don't want to fuck with any of the, there's gear all over the stage.
You got a
and,
wireless mic too?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the worst.
Right, so they had to fucking,
The waiting is so
I
bad.
do, I know. And they have fucking like two back lines or whatever, right? So like your headlining drum set is in the back or whatever. So there's like the drums that all the opening bands are using too.
And they haven't put the snare taut.
Yeah,
So
like,
it's just, you just
limited
hear it.
yeah, there's all these little things, right? But
Yeah.
like that being said, like so Wise Hall fits a lot of people, so let's say maybe like 80 or 50, 80 people or whatever, just coming in there, and right off the top, I'm doing well enough. They're coming away from the bar, they're coming away from the merch table, they're coming like to the stage, and I'm like hearing their last. It's all good, but like halfway through, you start to be like, you settle in, and then you start to notice everything, right? And then you start to notice like, your vocals coming back and like all that like weird shit that,
in your fucking head.
had I next time that I know that I'm in there, because like that guy's, he's walking around with an iPad, he could fucking turn those monitors
How
off.
old
And
was
I
the
asked for-
sound guy?
He might have been like 30 or something.
Oh, okay,
but,
so he's a kid.
I never dealt with like the historically shitty, music venue sound guy. Like you hear all those like bad stories.
Oh
and,
man.
it's like
I was one of those guys. I feel like for a short period of time, it's easy to get jaded in that job because there's like
imagine,
the fucking egos that come through that door of like,
Totally.
who are you, kid? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You got some kid like fucking
Your
thinks his
giant
tone is gonna
Marshall
change.
stack for a
Right.
fucking bar show. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah, so I gotta like creep around all these fucking stacks and everything just to get on stage and shit. But like, it did go really well. So I bring that first band on, and everything is good. And after that, I'm having drinks, and I'm in the back with a buddy that's in one of the other bands. I just pitch him this idea, and he's like, "Man, that's funny. Go up and do it." So I go up there and I try to kind of shoehorn this shit
Oh God. Yeah.
into this like bit. that-
Sam does
It's not-
immediately.
It's not
Oh,
just shoehorn any bit. It's like a crazy conspiracy.
Yeah, I wanna
theory
hear
that
Jackie
you just
tell
thought
this.
of.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I
Yeah.
wasn't there.
yeah. It was an away game. I had none of the homies were there for sure. Like it was tough. But I kind of go up there, and what I didn't realize that now there's 200 more people there than there was before, and I have no
have no
idea what
idea.
I'm doing.
So here's this guy just getting on the
Yeah.
stage between
Doing a fucking like an in-depth conspiracy bit that they have no idea that comedy's supposed to be a part of this thing. And I've eaten shit before, Sam, but I've never fucking eaten it that bad. And it was gnarly because I got on
man.
stage, but it was worse because not everybody kind of knew that, for everybody else, they're like, we're here to see music, so like whatever, like, oh, that's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
But like for them, that they none of them would have even remember that if I brought it up right now. But I fucking feel that.
What
like,
was the
this-
conspiracy? Like, what's the joke?
Well, no, okay. The premise is
oh
basically.
God,
that,
Sam, what are you?
what are
we
you
doing here?
doing? Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
The idea is that I get tired of listening to everybody else's conspiracies. Kind of ruins your thing at the
yeah.
bars. So like, I'll just fuck with them and make up my own.
I'm tired of listening
You know
to this
what I mean?
already. I guess.
Yeah. So then I give examples of my favorite conspiracies that have come up. And you know what? The bit works, Sam. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, that's great.
It worked a year ago.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess go work it. That's awesome.
It was good. It was a learning experience to say the least. So then after that, the confidence was like I was immediately checked and humbled, and then
Kept drinking though.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So then before that though, after that, when I was bringing up the next bands, I stuck to like a very tight kind of like 2 minutes. Let everybody in between, like they're gonna change. You go for a smoke, get your drinks or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna kind of go. And then the headlining band is Belvedere. They're like Canadian legendary. They've been around for many
Punk
years.
band?
Punk band
Named Belvedere.
Yeah, they're great.
Wow.
And they were like one of the only bands that ever came and played my small town in a little like fucking in a
Where
little,
they had all that big weighted
an all
water?
ages hall.
Yeah.
Heavy
No,
Where all the
water.
Nazis were?
No, heavy water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, they came and played for the Lead Babies, so we.
Aw.
Lead Babies.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh man,
There's-
it sounds like a guitar that
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain's trying to buy.
Yeah.
But like so then at that point I was just like it went from like I did my job and then I just wanted to like end it on just like a moment of sincerity. I'm just happy. to be there kind of thing. It was
You
good.
know,
It
you
was
did
good.
that. You
Yeah.
ended
It's a
like,
hard
hey,
thing.
I really appreciate having been able to be a comedian on this. People are like, why the fuck are you talking?
Yeah, I did.
Like, why? The last thing I want to hear is like, this has been really
did-
special for me.
Yeah.
It's been special for me to be a part of this. I thank you so much for letting me come up on stage between the bands. I really appreciate it.
Definitely not how it
You
went
ever-
down, but I like where your head's at. I like
You
where
ever
your head's at.
do a show?
I'll eat the shit. I'll eat the shit right now.
You got to. Like, you ever do a show where the host comes up after the headliner, then does jokes.
Oh,
my
man,
The
that is the
balls.
worst.
Oh, that son of
where
a
they
bitch.
just
Oh
can't
my
help
God.
themselves.
They
I'm like,
can't.
oh, I have a great
Disrespect.
tag for the joke that he did at the beginning of his set.
Yeah.
that people remember 40 minutes
You gotta be a
afterwards.
real piece of
Yeah,
shit.
And then like I'm gonna tell a couple jokes, and then give it up for the wait staff and everyone and all the comedians. You say like, what kind of fucking ego
Yeah.
do you need? So
Have you done the show at the Bennett?
the Bennett out. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. That guy was
that a-
Dapper Dawn hosting when you did it because that is him to a T.
Yeah, you know.
I've heard legends of this dude.
No,
Yeah.
he was telling Coke stories of Tommy Davis and
Oh
stuff like
my
that, and like all these
God.
like wild shit that nobody gives a fuck about. But he did 20 minutes in between each
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah,
yeah.
and at the
Insane.
end too.
Yeah.
It was like one of those when it becomes clear that this show is for him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And there's a time if everyone knows like, oh, this is this guy's show, and I'm just
Yeah.
coming in, I'll do
Yeah.
my time. Then
Yeah.
like fuck it, right? Like
Yeah.
who cares? But if you're thinking like, oh, this is just gonna be a regular show, but no, who's this fucking idiot? Right?
Yeah.
Just why are they still talking? Just bring me
We
up.
showed
What's
up.
happening?
It was we were there what like 3-4
We were
hours or
there,
something like that. It was
Are you
3
serious?
hours.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is in like Langley, right?
No, like
It was in,
Coquitlam, Port
Coquitlam,
Coquitlam.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
SkyTrain gets pretty close.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
It's
Oh
such
my
a weird
God.
thing, like that happens so much, like that after the headliner, or someone is just doing very well and the energy is great, and it's like, let's keep the show moving along here,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, let me just fucking kill any bit of energy in
God.
between. Anyways, your next comic coming to the
Well,
stage.
by the time I got on stage, I'm just ripping into him. I'm talking shit, but he's not on there because he just like introduced me and then walked straight to the bathroom and did
Oh,
blow.
yeah.
And then so as I'm talking shit, like his buddies are laughing about it, then he comes out and just visibly hands the bag to his buddy there, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here, guys?
So and
Yeah.
then at the end he like because this went on for like 3 hours, so most people left
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
the
Of
show. But by the end, he fucking bought a round of shots for
Yeah.
anyone left
It's
in
the
the bar,
bar,
and it's a
yeah.
big bar.
Yeah.
like bringing out all these fucking trays of shots.
ridiculous.
Oh my god.
And like you get a
Yeah.
weird like if I'm thinking about the right guy, like he's a part of that show. But then there's also like the comedy class people whose friends are the audience.
Yep.
Who are like,
Is this what? Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
Oh man, I love comedy class.
Yeah.
Would you ever teach one, or would you ever sit in on one?
I
You
played.
did a Yuck for a little bit.
I didn't do it. I would
Okay.
just I would help. I'd be like the heckler.
Oh, cool.
So they would bring
that's
me in
fun.
for one day.
Sign me
That's
up for
fun.
that.
That's
It was
fun.
great.
Yeah.
And so like a few weeks into their course, I would come in and everyone would be up there doing like, you got 2 minutes, do your jokes, and I would heckle them.
Oh my god,
2 minutes.
dude! Having Sam Donnie
Every
there,
time.
just fucking,
And
oh,
it
wow.
was
What a
amazing.
joke.
And, like just ripping them to pieces and walking around the room heckling them, answering my phone, fucking noises. It was great. All the worst stuff that doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like you, oh man, heckler videos. That shit
Oh,
never happens,
yeah.
right? It was so much fun, but no, I don't think I could even consider that.
Yeah.
It was too much
Yeah.
work. I'd take
Oh,
it too
God.
seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I just start like with charts and time.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just I'm too OCD for
Art,
that.
art's something you gotta feel, man. Yeah, that's fucking.
I didn't say that. I just don't want to impose a rigid method for people, dude. It's the worst. Imagine like you just
Should be
do
involved.
Yeah.
the art that you feel, and it's like, oh, this is shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Because
neat
you feel
idea.
it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying there's a more organic way to approach it, maybe. I don't fucking
Yeah.
know. What do I know?
Would you write and sit jokes? Write and sit jokes?
Write
What
and
the
sit
fuck am I
jokes,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
You sit and write jokes?
I try to,
You
yes,
just,
absolutely,
okay,
yeah,
I'm going to set
yeah.
a timer and write?
Yeah, kind of. Well, if there's like a nut that I'm trying to crack and I can't, then I'll try to just write something kind of completely different. Then I'll try to do just a random joke writing exercise to get my head off of the fucking streamlined path that I'm on. Yeah. And sometimes it goes great. Oftentimes it doesn't. But,
Yeah.
But it's a good exercise setup punch. You know what I mean?
Sure.
For doing those kind
And
of things.
Tyler, you are like a theatrical background, right? So you think in performance, or do you think in written word?
No, I think in written word. I think
Yeah?
like I do like because it was in bands and stuff like that. I think it might be a little more
But
physical.
you're also a movie star,
but-
right? Were you in Airbud 3?
5.
5. Ah,
Yeah,
sorry.
we all know that's the
Yeah.
best one of the
The
series.
volleyball one. Yeah.
The volleyball one. I skateboarded too. Okay.
Bumps that spiked tie.
I'm doing a bit about that now, where I'm like, because I did it in grade 10, which is a really delicate age to do a children's movie, because your friends are like, you really bitched out that movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's for 6-year-olds,
You're a
dude.
real pussy in the Disney
Yeah.
film.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, but I think I still like I have a pretty like written out.
Yeah.
I have a very. Carlin is like one of my favorite people.
Sure.
So like every word in there was like seemed like it really mattered and was there.
Yeah.
So like I definitely try to like write stuff out. That's like more so than just the performance, I think. Because I don't think it can be performance, but if there's no jokes along, then who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
then it
but do you
becomes, like,
think, like,
mostly-
when you're writing, do
Right.
you think how you're going to perform it? Like, I will use this voice or this act out, or are you just thinking what's on the page?
Not maybe a little bit, but for some those instincts are never really that correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
I was
point,
gonna say,
yeah.
whenever
So then I'll
that-
just
I
go.
have to give him one of these.
Yeah.
whenever that
yeah.
I
It's always
do-
it feels very forced or something like that. So I'm like, it'll just
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Something will just happen naturally from just doing the bit over and over
Yes.
again. Where I'm like, okay, I've done this so many times. I'm like, oh,
It
I
works
did
better
that
this
last
way,
time.
yeah.
You know, and then sometimes something will just click. It's like, oh, you literally just paused a little bit longer
Yeah,
there,
that's the
or you use
Chris
that word, or
Rock
you
approach.
just yeah, and so then try to plug that in later, and I don't know, lots of notes.
Jackie, what's your approach?
Yeah, definitely come from more of like a writer perspective, but trying to do that less because I have a tendency to like overwrite and then get like too stuck on like the words that
Yeah.
I chose to for the page.
Kind of like reciting the lyrics. rather than
Exactly.
doing
Yeah. Which definitely, it was definitely when we first started, that was like a huge problem for me. I would just be basically like reading off like a memorized speech.
Yeah.
So I try to do that less. But yeah, I kind of, it's all sort of, I mean, I just talk about myself really. And so it's all like,
And Johnny.
Yeah. And Johnny. Yeah. So like whatever, if something funny happens or fucking, yeah. But yeah, I'll kind of write it out and then try and like, get rid of shit and then, try and be more loose with it on stage rather than just doing what I wrote out word for word. But, there are times where I'll like have an idea and I'll think of like an act out or something that I want to
Yeah.
do with it. And in my head, I'm like, this is going to bring the house down.
Yeah.
Then you do it and it gets nothing.
And then I hate that because you're like, well, I have to at least try this 2 more times
Yeah.
before I completely exit out of it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
the fact that I have to go through this at least 2 more times really
Yeah.
sucks.
That scares the shit out of me. Like I'll
But
give
you
up. on
always
something.
have new jokes.
No,
Every time I see
but
you,
I'll
there's-
like I don't know. I give up on them too early though. Like
Do
I
you?
Oh,
won't
yeah.
do the test them out because I just like it's never gonna work.
Where do you
I
draw
have
the
a
line?
really
Because
hard
you have a
time
lot
with
of like really silly, jokes that I think
Yeah, they're
I've seen,
dumb.
especially in the past, like, I don't know, maybe like half a year or whatever that I've seen you like sticking with. So where do you draw the line if that's too silly or if that's too dumb? Like, where
Well,
does-
if it doesn't work,
if it doesn't- yeah, fair enough,
I don't
yeah.
care about being dumb. Like all my
Yeah.
stuff's made up,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like
sure.
nothing's real at
Yeah.
all. Like I can't. If it was true, I'd be dead or in jail or something. I don't know. But yeah, I am so weak of skin.
Are you big on like that, like editing process? Like,
Yeah.
is it?
I,
I
I won't edit it. I'll just drop it.
I remember.
Like I'll come out
yeah.
with a joke, it doesn't work. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm never telling that again. And I'm an
Yeah.
idiot, right? Because then it's like,
Yeah.
I should just edit it. But it's
Yeah.
so fucking
I remember being
emotionally
outside
I'm
Right.
draining.
bad for that too because
I
it's just the shame when
Yeah.
something bombs and you're like, I'm never gonna say those
I thought
words
that
in
was
order
hilarious. I'm a
again.
fucking
Yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
Moron. Just gonna do the same shit I've been doing for fucking
Yeah,
4 years.
yeah, course correct.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything new now. Oh, you don't like the stuff I've been telling for 8 years? You fucking pricks. You know, and then I just want to get off the stage.
You gave me great advice one time. It was, I believe, it was after a Yucks, like it was a Yucks open mic.
Sure.
And you were like hosting or something
Yeah.
like that. Or maybe it was after one of the Pro
Pro-Am
shows I went
or-
to
yeah.
or something. and I was just recording my sets with audio that time, and you caught me outside, and I was like, literally minutes after getting off stage, like listening back to it. You came up to me like, "Are you listening to that? Like what you just did up there?" You're like, right now. You're like, "Yeah, that's a bad idea."
Give it a day.
Yeah, you're like, you gotta sleep on that there, Padre.
Oh god.
And you're so right, because I'm like, I'm infected already.
Yeah.
What I just happened on stage and what I'm feeling immediately off stage. We're like, even sometimes where it's like, oh, you might even think that went well. And then you're like, then you listen back the next day and you're like, that was not
I made that
really
mistake.
all that great.
Yeah.
I
that was pretty
remember
bad, actually.
I did a set and I picked some friends up and then they're like, oh, I just did a great set and I put it on. And I'm like,
And it's horrifying.
It's the mic placement. It's the mic placement in the room. You can't hear. You can't hear the laughs. It's where the mic is.
It's just wild. I should never. Yeah, it's like your own private, like, shame.
Oh, yeah.
And don't relive it outside of a comedy club. Just don't.
No,
There's
totally.
like even
Yeah.
trying to like make clips for social media and
Oh.
stuff. When I put on a set, and even if it's one that I'm like, I did well that night. The second, like 2 seconds in, you're like, oh my god, I cannot.
No,
watch
Yeah,
this.
but you have to do it. You got to do it.
you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to.
It's like
Yeah.
filming the golf swing or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that. Like it
Yeah.
does. It has helped tremendously for
Mm.
sure.
You have
But
to be
it
okay with it.
sucks.
There's so many times where I'll watch something and I'm like, okay, this is going okay here, but I know that I could do that so much better. So then you're just like
Oh my God,
chasing,
do
like
this
telling
weird
like
thing
the,
with my
the
hand,
perfect
or I
version of
fucking-
that joke, and and then you're filming every set and not having as much fun with it or whatever. It's
For
like,
some reason, I turn into Bobby Warner. I say right after fucking everything. I'm like,
Right.
that's Bobby's thing, not mine.
I'll just like hate everything about. I'm like, why does my voice sound like that?
Yeah.
Like, do I
It's
always
brutal.
stand that way? Like,
oh, you have terrible posture. I think
yeah.
that's something that I'm noticing. Yeah, we need to figure that out.
Yeah.
But at the top of the hour, after we've just efficiently shit all over ourselves, Sam, is there
Yeah. And on a
anywhere
high
that we
note.
could direct the people to? Anything that you have coming up? Or are you just
Yeah.
floating the abyss?
I'm hosting Harris Anderson's special recording
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
on October
Yeah.
17th, Monday at the Mon. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
That's the big
Hell yeah.
thing, and I want it to be packed. I want, hopefully, it sells out the first show, so we get 2 shows on one
Yes.
night, because
Yeah.
there's nobody, I think, needing more video content than Harris.
For
So
sure.
funny.
And it's
sure.
so
So
funny.
And musically
funny.
so talented.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like, it's hard for me not to just nerd out with him about
Oh,
tunes
it's
all the time.
amazing. Yeah, a big fucking Neil Young fan. Yeah, that's the big one. That's gonna be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
It's gonna be so much fun, and Jacob Samuel's on it as well, Juno Award winner.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what's coming up in a couple
Hell
of
yeah,
months.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Other than that,
Hell yeah, man.
gotta write jokes and tell jokes, and
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
The grind continues, man. But thank you so
grind
much for
continues.
being our last
Thank,
guest.
Yeah.
no,
Thank
thank
you,
you for
man.
having
Yes.
me. This
Very
is
special.
great.
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
No
Thanks for
further
coming
talk
on.
from experiences. Fucking after Aerosmith.
Yeah,
No
right?
talk about Christopher Cross.
Yeah.
A tattoo left unshone. I love
Yeah.
it. It's
Classic
great.
Show Me Yours
Yeah, right.
episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking about
Yeah.
ourselves in some way. Yeah.
You leave them wanting more, and there's an open door invitation. But it's up to us now to get back to you, I think. So
Yeah,
if you're
next time
ever
we're
out
back in the
Montreal, then
city.
please hit us up.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
we'll
I'd
be-
love
let
to
us know.
give when I'm in Montreal next, which I think will be for probably a boxing event.
Very nice.
Hopefully, if that's where Archer Bitterbiev is fighting next.
Yeah.
He's not. It's in Quebec City, so I might go there. I don't know,
Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah, I will hit you up.
Yeah,
Hell
let
dude.
us know.
And if you have
Yeah.
any sandwich recommendations or anything over there, then let us
Oh,
know.
yeah.
In Montreal? Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you
well, you-
live
you
there,
sent
so
us
you know
to
all the
the-
good
yeah.
spots. So like
Yeah.
all the smoked meat and poutine
Yeah.
places
Yeah.
you have set.
Yes.
But obviously Joe Beef is where you gotta go.
Joe
Yeah,
Beef,
that's the big
let's go.
guy.
Yeah, have you been there, Jackie?
No, I don't eat meat or any of that.
Johnny?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
baby.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be Joe
When you
Beef.
you eat
Yeah.
meat, right?
Yeah.
He does,
Okay,
yeah,
so you're gonna be left at home.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
happens a lot.
watching the cat.
Thanks for having me. This was
Dude,
a lot of
thanks for
fun.
coming on.
You guys are great.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Peace.